NBA, dominating the court with godly talent unlocked. Episode 31, Santa Clara University, AMU, and Nash dormitories. And, I still say that, it's blowing up. This is the umpteenth time Nash has said this recently. After he finished speaking, he took the newspaper and read it carefully. I didn't expect that there were reporters who could take our videos at that time, but it was an all-star game, there were so many reporters, and it was actually quite normal to see one by chance. And Moo took the coffee on the coffee table and savored it carefully. Steve, I said I didn't think I could blow O'Neal either. Do you believe it? Nash thought about it and shook his head. I don't believe it. When O'Neal was ready to play 2v2 with us, I actually saw the murderous aura in your eyes. You definitely wanted to abuse him like the tyrannical Campy and a lava candy. And, the NCAA has wronged you. Your battlefield is in the NBA. Nash was a little incoherent at this point. Now, let's wait for 7 o'clock in the evening. At that time, it was again the place where you were famous for all meters, but this time you were famous for more battles. Last time it was the favorite to blow up the future. This time it is one of the most powerful champions in NBA history. O'Neal's rookie season was all about being able to cut 20 plus 10 existences. Such data is rare in NBA history, and he's also the youngest of the Big Four. To be sure, O'Neal's future is limitless. Blasting O'Neal is not much more advanced than blasting Camby and Olava Candy. As Nash spoke and Moo entered the system, the task of blowing up O'Neal has been completed. He has now acquired his second skill, Atsushi Shihara's Iron Hammer of Destruction. This skill, in March Madness, will greatly increase in Moo's dominance in the low position. God's chosen body, plus Iron Hammer of Destruction. To be honest, such a combination skill is the existence of hanging the sky. The article in the New York Times has initially spread across the country. Everyone questioned O'Neal's blowing up. Everyone was waiting for the video to play at 7 o'clock in the evening. Los Angeles. Lakers general manager's office. West received a phone call. Jerry, have you seen the news? People who call. There are many labels. President of the Clippers. Jerry West's good friend. The most unlucky bastard in NBA history. King of the Eight Lands, Elgin Baylor. After receiving the call, West said, "Of course I saw it." Baylor said mysteriously, "Do you know who that guy is?" West rolled his eyes helplessly. "I believe that the Clippers also included this guy in the draft, and his rank should still be the same as Duncan, right?" Baylor smiled. "Haha, Jerry, so you know. And Moo, this guy is also too powerful. Can you even blow up O'Neal? It's incredible to exist one. I've decided that if the Clippers get the top pick, I must elect him." When West heard this, he frowned, because the goal of the Lakers is also AMU. He rolled his eyes and immediately said, "Although it is a fact that Moo broke O'Neal 90%, I think you should still wait and see. At the moment, he hasn't shown anything other than his physical fitness. For his draft pick, I keep a wait-and-see state." After hearing West's words, Baylor was silent for a while. He thinks West's words make sense, and maybe the Clippers should continue to wait and see. "Jerry, thanks for the reminder, I'll think about it carefully." For Jerry West, Baylor has always been new. Whether this guy is playing or being the general manager, he can always make the clearest choice. Otherwise, why does the NBA use him as a logo now? After exchanging pleasantries with Baylor, West hung up the phone. Subsequently, he immediately called the head coach of the Lakers. "Swing. Completely rotten. I don't want us to win a game next season." After making the call, a meaningful smile appeared on West's face. "Elgin, I'm sorry. The Lakers and the Clippers are competitive relationships, you shouldn't believe me." When the New York Times ran it, it wasn't just West and Baylor who recognized Moo based on the pictures alone. All the general managers of other NBA teams recognized this celestial center. Boston. Cardinal Auerbach looked at the newspaper and fell into deep thought. Since Bert's retirement, the Celtics have been rebuilding. In recent years, Auerbach has been looking for the right candidate. He caught his eye on Duncan when he was a freshman, but this guy actually wants to finish his senior year? That meant the Celtics had 3 years to waste waiting for Duncan. Duncan graduated in 1997 and entered the 1997 draft. And this year, 1996, there were also a lot of good seedlings in the draft. Auerbach's first bullish is Kobe Bryant, who is still playing high school. If you can pick this little guy to the Celtics, when Duncan comes next year, the two can form a good combination. However, the plan cannot catch up with the changes. Since AMU's birth, Auerbach has also discovered this center. He felt that this big man from the Celestial Empire was also a good candidate. And now, it was actually revealed that Moo broke the news of O'Neal? Then, the purpose is clear one. Auerbach's eyes sparkled. Elect AMU-GA Kobe this year, Duncan next year. This is another lineup that can win 8 consecutive championships. Of course, this is just an idealized calculation. However, this year and next year, you must take any of these 3 people. Duncan and Moo are fast, and Kobe needs time to grow. But the future of all 3 is limitless. After much deliberation, Auerbach also made a decision. The Celtic must not win in the next game. At this moment, Los Angeles Lakers general manager West honored Bishop Auerbach of the Boston Celtics, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. At the same time, the same decision was made. Snatch Anmu. Such a decision also happens to many NBA teams. For example, the Warriors. When Twazik saw this, he jumped straight up from his chair. In addition to excitement is excitement. This strengthened the Warriors' desire to compete for Anmu. 7 o'clock in the evening. At this moment, almost all the sports fans turned on the TV station. Canby, Massachusetts, Penny Hardaway in Orlando, Jordan in Chicago, West in Los Angeles. Countless people, at this moment, did the same action, turntable to ESPN. Human psychology is just very strange. If O'Neal is played by a regular NBA starting center, they are surprised, but they will not be surprised to this extent. However, according to reports, the man who blew up O'Neal was not an NBA player, is a mysterious center. They all want to see who this mysterious center who blew up O'Neal is. Episode 32. Finally, it came at 7 o'clock in the evening. ESPN's host started with an opening remarks. This provoked a lot of viewers to start scolding the mother. Although this host looks very beautiful, don't be ignorant. We don't watch ESPN, we don't watch the host. Medea, why is there so much nonsense? Yes, ESPN is too doggy, especially to hang my appetite. Many viewers complained. However, the moderator is not in a hurry at all. She told it and listed a lot of O'Neal's deeds. Even a few O'Neal highlights were played. Some fans couldn't help it, and the call went directly to ESPN to curse. Finally, at 7 and 5 o'clock, the beautiful hostess announced, and the highlights were played immediately. First of all, this video deliberately records the environment at that time. Morning, the camera then turns to the upper court. O'Neal's figure can probably be seen clearly, and PK on both sides soon began. On the first goal, the mysterious center cut quickly and jumped high to complete the aerial relay. It's clear that O'Neal didn't react. Yes, this so-called mysterious center won't just sneak a chicken and a dog. It can barely be regarded as a wonderful aerial relay, right? Fans began to question, that's it? It's nothing more than taking advantage of O'Neal's lack of attention and suddenly hitting one. What is there to blow? Hopefully the next goals will be a bit technical. Already someone is starting to get impatient. On the video, the small point guard takes the ball, singles O'Neal, a nice change of pace, then go straight to the basket and score the basketball under O'Neal's defense. There's nothing to blow about. It's just a small fight. Shaq is a center. It's normal to not be able to defend a small man. Hee, it's really the same as I thought. Selling dog meat with a sheep's head. It's not more than 3. If the third goal is still like this, I will have to change the table. On the court, Nash broke through with the ball and suddenly threw the basketball towards the basket. Isn't this little defender too excited? You actually chose to shoot in this place? And did you find out? His shooting posture is really weird. Is this a throw? This ball is definitely iron. And after the ball is converted, Shaq is going to start using his power. Countless fans think so. However, they were surprised to find that when the basketball rose to its highest point, when O'Neal got stuck in position, ready to collect the rebound, that big man, who jumped straight up and knocked the basketball into the basket, threw O'Neal in the air. Wait. Is this an aerial relay? Oh my god. This defender's pass is also too confusing. The focus is wrong. What should we focus on is that the big shark is blocked by his opponent while getting stuck in position. That hasn't happened in the NBA, has it? Who can guarantee that if you're stuck, you'll be able to jump and put the basketball in the basket? It's too demanding for bounce and reach. Between the basket and the mysterious center, there is a big shark. But this spacer doesn't really say anything. There are more good bounced centers. I don't believe Shaq won't fight back. Let's wait a little longer. The recording continues to play. When Kobe finished the steal, many people began to cheer. Ha ha ha, Shaq will make that guy look good. Boy, withstand the impact from the big shark. Sharks will make you worse than dead. In front of the TV, countless people began to watch the video with the eyes of watching the drama. When O'Neal got the basketball, especially in this kind of 2v2 match, the opponent has no way to trap O'Neal. Well, the way to O'Neal is very simple: to put the basketball in the basket. O'Neal took the ball and hit it. Bump, that guy should take a few steps back, right? This is what many people have in mind. But O'Neal's first impact, the mysterious center, did not back down. The second impact still did not retreat. In the next few impacts, the mysterious center silk pattern did not move. And when O'Neal used a very deceptive fake, the mysterious center was not affected in the slightest. Finally, O'Neal couldn't help but attack. But at the moment he made a move, the mysterious center began to act. It was as if he had a spring on his leg, quickly soaring into the air, while covering O'Neal in the air. It turned out to be also flipped O'Neal. Oh my god. He flipped the shark hat over? Oh god. This guy seems to be much stronger than we thought. Flip O'Neal. Such a force can rank in the top 3 in the NBA. So, the incident of O'Neal being blown up by the mysterious center may be true? When the audience saw the mysterious center and the hat flipped O'Neal, they couldn't help but start believing the news. And what? Keep watching. Offense and defense conversion. The mysterious center plays O'Neal with the ball low and back. After the first step, it directly knocked O'Neal back. Oh my god. He actually knocked off O'Neal? O'Neal hit him in the back just now, and he wasn't knocked back. As a result, when he hit him on the back, he directly knocked O'Neal back. The mysterious center is still crashing back, and after continuous impacts, it has reached the basket. Without any extra movement, turn around and jump. Dry land plucking onions, opening mountains, and cutting trees. O'Neal again. If the air relay barrier O'Neal just now is a sneak attack, then this partition is face-to-face hard horror. Is this really a passerby center? Sharks can't meet aliens in the wee hours of the morning, right? 4-0. The Sharks haven't scored a single goal since the start of the game. It seems that this last ball should also be scored on the opposite side. After all, the morning newspaper said about shaving your head. In the eyes of everyone, on the TV screen, the last ball is finally about to begin. The mysterious center collided after his first dribble, knocked O'Neal back again, and by a great margin. Mystery center then jumps to the basket. O'Neal took off directly to prepare for the cap. Phew. It seems that the Shark is not without the ability to fight back, at least one of the other sides. Some breathed a sigh of relief inside. However, when O'Neal was in the air, the mysterious center did not make any moves. Faint? Same as O'Neal's inner thoughts at the time. Countless viewers also had this question in their hearts at this time. Is this a fake move? And this fake action is too realistic. But just like that, he happened. When the mysterious center swings O'Neal away, take off with full force and jump high. Boom. Fried basket. O'Neal knocked to the ground by the mysterious center. And the basketball hoop was also directly broken by the mysterious center. What the fuck? In the video, these 3 words can be clearly heard. Perhaps this was sent by the person who recorded the video. Perhaps it was sent by someone else on the field. O'Neal was not only capped, but also knocked to the ground. Not only did you knock over O'Neal, but you also broke the basketball hoop? Broken? Is this Hulk appearing? Is this mysterious center Dr. Banner? Who is he? Who exactly is he? The video is finished. There are doubts in everyone's mind. And the beautiful host looked at everyone with a smile. Who is this mysterious center? Actually, I don't know. But the New York Times reporter said that in tomorrow's New York Times, who this person is will be made public. The words of the beautiful host caused an uproar among the audience. Good fellow. The New York Times, is this increasing sales? Medea. Damn. It will take another night to find out who this person is. I decided. I'm going to the newsstand and squat overnight. I'm going to be the first to see the New York Times content. At this moment, in the hearts of countless audiences, there is only one question. Mysterious center, who is it? Episode 33, University of Massachusetts. When the video was finished, Marcus Camby slumped directly on the sofa. Is it really Enmu? Based on just a picture in the newspaper, he couldn't be sure if it was Enmu. However, after watching the video, he was able to be sure. This person is really Enmu. Definitely Enmu. He couldn't forget Enmu's appearance. Even though the video shooting environment was very dim, he could still recognize it as Enmu. That terrifying explosive power and terrifying defensive ability left a deep shadow in his heart. Moreover, at the end the sky was already bright, and Mu's face that made Campy ashamed of himself was also revealed. That's Anmu. At the end of this season, I'm going to fight and train in order to catch up with you, to prove myself in front of you when I meet you. But this step of yours is a bit big. I thought you would pull the gear, but it turned out to be one step to the sky. Campy thought helplessly. He is still an NCAA level center, but Anmu can already compete with an NBA All-Star level center. The gap is too big. Marcus, Campy suddenly reached out and slapped himself. You have to remember. You are the best. Even if Enmu blows O'Neal, you are the best. You have to believe in your abilities. Come on, March Madness. When you meet Enmu, eliminate him 1 inch. What if he can blow O'Neal? O'Neal is so good, he didn't win a championship in college. A person is just one person. Basketball is a team sport. Through the cooperation between the team, Santa Clara University will definitely not beat Massachusetts. Camby kept cheering himself up. Orlando. When O'Neal saw the video released by ESPN, he angrily smashed the remote control directly on the TV. The TV screen immediately went black. Damn journalists. Damn Kino. What a coincidence that you came. Bye. Are you and Enmu both sent by God to play with me? Mom Jafark. After watching this video, the Shark knew that one thing was inevitable. That is, in the coming period, this matter will be mentioned repeatedly, especially on the pitch. The opponent said, "What NBA do you play for a center that can't even be played by passers-by? How can Sharks withstand such trash talk? Let me see where you are." O'Neal remembered the last words of the ESPN show. The experience of the mysterious center will be analyzed bit by bit. So far, O'Neal only knows that the mysterious center is called Anmu. The rest know nothing. He said he was a college student. What university was he a student? For O'Neal, who doesn't follow the NCAA, he really doesn't know when the NCAA came out with such a powerful center. Meanwhile, Shaq lost unjustly. Hardaway looked at Enmu's explosive performance on the TV screen, and constantly shook his head and sighed. Arm span, height are top static talents. This bounce, explosive power, and movement speed are also top static talents. While sighing, Hardaway also used his little brain. These 2 years are the year of his contract with O'Neal. O'Neal will definitely ask for a top salary. However, if O'Neal renews O'Neal with the top salary, Hardaway's big contract is not guaranteed. Both are very good players, and the Magic are sure to make a mistake. Not as good as. Hardaway turned his brain, used this video to talk to the management and ask them to lower O'Neal's contract amount so that I can sign the top salary. The NBA is an interest field. The phrase business is business is often on the lips. There is nothing wrong with fighting for your own interests. Moreover, Hardaway does not consider himself inferior to O'Neal. The Magic made it to the finals thanks to Hardaway and O'Neal, but the proud Hardaway sees himself to be more credited. Since my credit is greater than O'Neal, why should my contract amount be lower than O'Neal? Once such an idea was born, it was like a virus in his heart. Santa Clara University. Nash looked at the picture on the TV screen and kept cheering. And, look at my singles O'Neal's moves, how handsome, ha 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 ha. Oh, this spacer of yours is too powerful, this cap. Absolutely. You are the hand of God. I didn't expect someone to record this video. And, trust me, this video will greatly improve your draft rankings. Nash was jumping alive on the floor of the living room excitedly, and Buddha was lying on the sofa. He smiled slightly and said, Steve, you also have a wonderful performance in this video. I think your draft pick will go up too. Nash smiled and said, you eat meat, I'll just drink some soup. Hope I can be selected in the lotto. At the end of the show, the two plugged directly into the PS1 and started a pleasant game journey. Medea. My PS5 hadn't been around for long before it crossed over. It's a pity. And Moo sighed helplessly while rubbing the somewhat rudimentary handle of the PS1. Who is this college student? Some fans who follow the NCAA recognize this college student. It isn't Moo. However, more people still don't know who this is. In this era of underdeveloped networks, the speed of information transmission is inherently slow, and Moo has little influence in the eastern and central parts of the United States, but in California, his influence is evident. At the very least, when everyone saw the video, they all recognized the mysterious center as in Moo. At this moment, countless newspapers in California began to rush to write overnight. San Francisco sports newspaper office. This guy is really getting more and more powerful. You can directly abuse O'Neal like this. While writing the manuscript, Wicks admired in Moo's strength. As the first person to report on Amu, Wicks is a little proud. Look at it. The player I reported at the beginning is now a presence that can blow up O'Neal. That's my vision. Unfortunately, such video material was not recorded by me. There was no time to sigh, and he worked at the desk again. One night, and so it passed. The next day, the New York Times was distributed to newsagents. Immediately, someone couldn't wait to come to the newsstand and buy a newspaper. The headline of the New York Times was very explosive. Mystery Center. Behind the scenes. O'Neal and Jordan All-Star Contradiction Analysis. They thought that today's newspapers would only reveal the identity of the mysterious center. Unexpectedly, there is such exciting news. O'Neal and Jordan did have a bit of a contradiction when they were All-Stars. Everyone sees this in their eyes. O'Neal and Jordan didn't have any cooperation throughout the game. Originally, everyone thought it was because of the Magic eliminating the Bulls last season. However, this newspaper went so far as to say that the All-Star contradiction between O'Neal and Jordan is because of the mysterious center. This mysterious center striker has so much energy. Who is behind the scenes? Many readers opened the newspaper impatiently, wanting to read it quickly. How did this mysterious center act as the man behind the scenes? Episode 34. Did Keno just shoot a video of the Silicon Valley duo versus the young OK duo on the sidelines? Actually, it is not. When O'Neal left the field, Keno had the acumen of a journalist, always following O'Neal. When O'Neal walked into the hotel, Keno was ready to leave. After all, O'Neal had all entered the hotel, and there was no way for him to continue investigating anything. However, after O'Neal entered the hall, he did not meet his own room. Instead, I went to the hotel gym. So, Keno was curious and went straight to follow. As a result, he heard Jordan and O'Neal arguing right outside the gym. If you use 4 words to describe the trash talk of that day, it's just wonderful. Keno has never heard such intense trash talk in his life. Jordan and O'Neal are even about to get started at the gym, and these trash words were also recorded by him. Yesterday, the release of Shock. Mysterious giant hangs the shark O'Neal. After this article, Keno continued to publish the behind-the-scenes article the next day. At this time, Keno was very happy. The focus of the all-meter sports world has focused on him for 2 days. It will attract the attention of fans of all meters for up to 2 days. This is already a very difficult thing. Keno is just a rookie reporter, and with this series of reports, it has now gained a lot of status in the sports section of the New York Times. At this time, in countless families all over the meter, the article behind the scenes was read by countless readers as yesterday. I really didn't expect it. O'Neal and Jordan's dispute over the All-Star is because of this. Yes. I thought it was because of the playoffs. I didn't expect it to be like this. Look at these trash talk records in the article. It's too exciting. These trash talk of two people can definitely be included in trash talk textbooks. However, when they were about to see the end, they frowned again. Who is this center? Their gaze continued to move with the article. Finally, when I was about to turn the page, I found such a paragraph. After a few days of investigation by the author, flip through the materials. Finally, it was determined that he was. At this point, the newspaper is about to turn the page. If he came to the modern era to write novels, he would definitely be a ghost out of context. Readers turn the pages impatiently and then continue reading. NCAA League, California, Santa Clara University Broncos, starting freshman center, AMU. A foreign student from the Celestial Empire. When they saw these words, everyone was shocked. Originally, according to everyone's speculation, the center who broke O'Neal may be from Europe. Maybe it's something like Sabonis, the roof of the world who led the team to defeat the US team at the Olympics. After all, now all over the world, in addition to the United States, the highest level of basketball is Europe. However, what everyone did not expect was, this center striker turned out to be from the Celestial Empire? Chicago. What? Celestial? Jordan was looking at the New York Times with relish. It was so much fun to see O'Neal blow up yesterday. The trash talk that guy talked to himself in the gym was carefully remembered by Jordan. It turned out that this guy was like lighting a powder keg that day, because he was blown up by a passerby center. However, Jordan did not expect to see the newspaper today. Learned in the newspaper that this center is a freshman center from the Celestial Empire? Is the physical fitness of the people of the Celestial Empire so explosive? TSK, it seems that in this year's Olympic Games, the Celestial Empire may be a relatively strong opponent. However, since the NBA began to form the Dream Team, the United States has not encountered such a thing as being eliminated by Sabonis. The problem should also be not big. Jordan lay on the couch, smoking his cigar, wandering around the world. Ignore these things, stay in shape, beat the winning record. This season is really the season when basketball god Michael Jordan returns. Last season? Just warm up. Eliminated by O'Neal? Hee, it's impossible this year. A bag that even college students can't beat deserves to eliminate me? This year, win. And Moo was reported by the New York Times with such heat, which directly made the whole meter crazy. All eyes are on Santa Clara University. The team's head coach, Dick David, has been under a lot of pressure these days. Even the leaders of the NCAA League called to inquire about the situation. These two boys. I'm giving you leave to go to the game. How did you come up with such a big battle? Although, David's tone was reproachful, but anyone could hear that there was more excitement in David's tone. Sure enough, in the next sentence, he began to release his emotions. Medea. Well done, give me a long face. Of the players I've coached all my life, you're the best. And Moo quipped, Coach, didn't you say before that we are the worst class you have ever taken? And Moo was familiar with this. It turned out that it was not only teachers and homeroom teachers who said such things. The head coach is the same. David smiled and hammered and Moo, you boy. Terrible. To be able to blow O'Neal, you can already sit back and relax in the NBA. But, when he said this, David changed his expression and said positively, beware of arrogance and impetuosity. Although you blew up O'Neal, you are still in college. You don't have to beat O'Neal to win the NCAA championship. I hope we can win the championship this year. Give Steve's college career a perfect end. Nash is a senior this year. In the first 3 years, he was carrying too much. I play hard for the team every year, but because of my teammates, I have never let the team get good results. Coach David was also in a hurry. He went to many high school students during the summer and persuaded them to join Santa Clara University, but no one promised him at all, and the team squad could not be improved at all. The arrival of Nmu this year has fully released Nash's talent. This white point guard is indeed talented. Today, he averages 14 assists per game, which is the record holder for assists per game in NCAA history. Hearing this, Nmu patted Nash on the shoulder. He vowed, Steve, we're going to win. A smile bloomed on Nash's face. And, the Silicon Valley twins will stand on the stage of the final this year. The Silicon Valley duo will lift the championship trophy on the stage of the final this year, and they will also cut the net on the basket. Steve. Come on, well, Anne. Let's cheer together. Episode 35. Nmu blew up O'Neal's matter, and it exploded all meters. Now the streets of the United States are all talking about this. San Antonio. The two came to the street court, where Nmu breached O'Neal. This is where Nmu broke O'Neal. Zhang Weiping pointed to the street court and said, Lao Zhang, this young man named Nmu is too powerful. Su Jiping looked at the street court and sighed. Zhang Weiping nodded. That physical fitness, too strong. I've never seen a player with such strong physical fitness. If this news is transmitted back to China, it is estimated that it will be an uproar. They sent 2 reporters from CCTV to report on the All-Star this year. Xu Jinping and Zhang Weiping. After the All-Star, they did not leave the United States immediately. But what they didn't expect was that there was such a big news here in the United States. A freshman center from the country who blew up the big shark, O'Neal. O'Neal was the one who knocked Jordan out last season. As a retired athlete, Zhang Weiping naturally knows what level O'Neal is. Looking at the field in front of him, Zhang Weiping suddenly said, "The Olympics are about to start this year." Xu Jinping is a personal spirit, and he knows what Zhang Weiping means by this. "You mean, let Anmu join the national team?" Zhang Weiping nodded and said, "Isn't that a good idea? If this kid can join the national team, our ranking this year is definitely possible to break into the top 8. Since the Celestial Empire men's basketball team entered the Olympic Games in 1984, it has maintained its Olympic men's basketball quota until now. However, the Celestial Empire men's basketball team has been unable to enter the top 8. This summer, the Olympics are about to start again, and Mu's appearance made Zhang Weiping's heart wave. When he was an athlete, he was the #1 striker in Asia. Unfortunately, he retired a few years before the Celestial Empire men's basketball team returned to the Olympics. Never participated in the Olympics. "If you can recommend talents for the Olympics now, maybe you can," Xu Jinping said in a somewhat helpless tone. "Lao Zhang, don't you know that the national team can be entered if he wants to? You don't just have to rely on your own strength to enter the national team." This sentence made Zhang Weiping's original breath dissipate instantly. "Oh, let's take a look. I really feel he's a big help to the national team," Xu Jinping said on the side. "Old Zhang, this young man named Mu is indeed very powerful. I also know he helps a lot. But can you convince the leaders?" Zhang Weiping lit a cigarette and took a few puffs. Say it again. However, he remembered one more thing. "I think we should take this back to China." Blast O'Neal, so the news is not much more attractive than the All-Star game? We can take the New York Times back for those 2 days. It's better to have a videotape of Mu and O'Neal playing. It's a pity we don't have a videotape. Videotapes will be more convincing. Xu Jinping had a flash of inspiration and said, "We don't have the original videotape, but we can record it. It's been playing back on TV these days. We can just record it with our own camera." After hearing Xu Jinping's words, Zhang Weiping gave him a thumbs up. "Old Xu, clever. Just do it." After returning to China, I put the video into 5 sets to play. Santa Clara University, AMU has been training since returning from the All-Star. Practice hard in the gym to stimulate the potential of the chosen body. He could clearly sense that the potential of the chosen body could still be exploited. At the same time, he hones his skills when he trains with the ball. Now AMU plays completely by physical fitness. But just by relying on his physical fitness, he can already dominate the NCAA. But when you get to the NBA, everything is different. He had to hurry up and improve his technique. A skilled center is a good center. All the center forwards want to be Elijah. No one wants to be a Capella who can only eat bread. The time gradually came to the 28th. At this time, Zhang Weiping had returned to China. After returning to China, he immediately handed over the news that Mu had broken O'Neal. This has attracted the attention of the leaders of the sports channel. After review, it was broadcast on the sports channel as soon as possible. After the broadcast, the response was unprecedentedly fierce. "Can a player in the Celestial Empire blow up O'Neal? What is O'Neal's existence? Eliminate the existence of Jordan. Can a player blow up O'Neal?" There is also the original of the New York Times and video testimony. This fully confirms the authenticity of this news. February 18th. At the same time, it is also the 30th of the lunar month. CCTV 5 offices. Everyone was packing up and getting ready to leave work. Chinese New Year's Eve, the most important day of the year. Everyone is waiting for Chinese New Year's Eve meal. Lao Zhang. Suddenly, Xu Jinping rushed into the office very excitedly. This caught the attention of all colleagues. "Ha ha ha, this new year makes me so excited." Xu Jinping laughed and walked his colleagues and said to Zhang Weiping, "I got news from the director." "What's the news?" "You hurry up and finish talking. I'll hurry home for Chinese New Year's Eve meal," Xu Jinping said mysteriously, "and Mu's affairs will be broadcast in today's news network." "What?" When Zhang Weiping heard this, he looked at Xu Jinping with wide eyes. "Really fake?" "It's true. I had just returned from the director, and he said that a colleague of the set had just come over and taken all the information." "What is this for?" "It must be broadcast in the news network. Broadcast on our sports channel, it caused such a big response. If it is broadcast in the news hookup again, the effect. It's unthinkable," Xu Jinping said excitedly. "At that time, we both had more face. After all, Mu's news was brought back by us." Zhang Weiping returned home, turned on the TV, and locked the CCTV set. Afterwards, start preparing Chinese New Year's Eve meal. At 7 o'clock, he sat directly in front of the TV. Lao Zhang, you come over and help me." Zhang Weiping waved his hand and said to his wife, "I watch TV here, I don't have time." He was afraid that he had missed the news covering Mu. After waiting for more than 10 minutes, Zhang Weiping's eyes suddenly appeared. "I only heard the host begin to say, the 1996 NBA All-Star came to an end. But after the All-Star ended, a big event happened in American basketball. And Mu's blowing up of O'Neal was slowly said by the host." "What? Hanging the NBA's top center O'Neal? A freshman who blew up a professional player? Although I don't watch the NBA, I also know that the NBA is the best basketball league. CCTV's news network in Chinese New Year's Eve must be true. This guy named Enmu is too long for our country. Medea. The red banner will eventually defeat Michaelism. We've been talking about sporting powerhouse, and now there's finally a guy who can get ahead in big balls. Chinese New Year's Eve, everyone was waiting for the Spring Festival Gala on CCTV. This is also the time when CCTV set of ratings is the highest. CCTV said at this time, the information on this matter directly let the name Enmu become popular throughout the country. Everyone knows that there is a player named Enmu in the Celestial Empire who blew up the Shaquille O'Neal. Inevitably, on the morning of the first day of the new year, the threshold of Enmu's house was about to be trampled on, and Enmu's parents were still confused. The children did not come home after studying abroad, and they were somewhat lonely. Yesterday Chinese New Year's Eve dinner, Enmu was not there, and they were a little depressed. So there is no mind to watch the news hookup at all. Even the Spring Festival Gala only watched it for a while, and went to bed early. As a result, when I woke up the next day, there was an endless stream of people who came to the house to greet the new year. Relatives and colleagues who have some connections come to greet the new year. And these people have always said that they are well disciplined and have produced an excellent athlete. Some people even say that Enmu is the pillar of the country. Episode 36. Enwegwa. Enmu's mother, Lu Yayun, looked at her husband. What did our son do? Enwegwa looked at the lively scene outside the window and said slowly, if I heard correctly, Enmu played basketball in the United States. And it was the center players of the United States who participated in the Olympics that exploded. And he's still a freshman, and that center named O'Neal is 24 years old. And what? Lu Yayun interrupted Enwegwa's words and said, we sent him to study in the United States to let him study well, get back and get a good job. Now that he's going to play basketball, isn't that just not doing business? Enwegwa frowned and looked at Lu Yayun. Isn't this not a serious business? Can it be broadcast on CCTV's news hookup if it is not a serious business? Haven't you heard what people say? Enmu is winning glory for the country. He can beat a powerful player like O'Neal, which proves to the Americans that our Celestial Dynasty people are not weak. He was very tall when he was in junior high school, and at that time, a sports school came to his door and asked him to practice basketball. But you didn't promise. I didn't say anything more at the time. Now it took him less than a year after he went abroad to reach this level. Doesn't that mean he's very talented? Enwegwa said, sat on the sofa, turned on the TV and tuned to the 5 sets of CCTV. And I've heard that the income from basketball is very high. Let's let him study abroad as nothing more than to find a good job. He plays basketball in the United States. And it seems that the lowest annual salary is $1 million, or dollars. After hearing that his son could get an annual salary of $1 million in the future, Lu Yayun's eyes widened. What do you say? Million annual salary? Or dollars? Enwegwa nodded. I've called my colleagues at the sports bureau. Any idea what he said first to me? Lu Yayun asked. What? Enwegwa said slowly. He said, Olden, you can just retire now. Your kid will make you eat and drink for the rest of your life. As long as Enmu participates in that NBA draft, he can sign a contract for several years. The basic salary is $1 million, and if you play well after the contract expires, the salary will be higher. And he also said that there are endorsements, and so on. In the end, he concluded that our son is a gold-sucking beast. After Enwegwa finished speaking, he looked at Lu Yayun with a smile. Or should I go to the United States tomorrow and let him quit the basketball team and study hard? Go back to China and be a returnee, and then work well according to your ideas, get married and have children. After Lu Yayun heard Enwegwa's words, she directly threw her husband a roll of his eyes, raised his hand and hammered Enwegwa twice. There is no mention of opposing Enmu's play. Parents in the world are nothing more than wanting their children to have a good job. As long as you can eat and dress warmly, there is no disease or disaster. Now Enmu can earn money safely and steadily, and make a lot of money. Do not commit a crime, and I can be a sports star in the future. For the Yin family, there was no idea of opposing at all. I'm going to write a letter to that stinky boy. I haven't made such a big decision. In the future, let him report on his situation every week. Don't think that if you have hard wings, you will hide everything from me when you become a big star. Humph. Comrade Lu Yayun is still maintaining his last majesty as a mother, but the joy and pride in her tone could not be concealed. Enmu didn't know at all. His name had now spread all over the country. He is now at Santa Clara University every day, training day and night. Over time, Enmu's technology has also slowly begun to mature. The chosen body of God brought him more than just excellent physical fitness. In terms of potential and understanding, the ball quotient has also brought him a very good improvement. On March 15th, the NCAA March Madness will begin. In this game, the broadcaster attached great importance to Santa Clara University, because, after all, Enmu is able to tyrannize O'Neal's existence. So, in this year's NCAA March Madness round, ESPN directly decided to put the Santa Clara school game on the full-meter live broadcast. On March 10th, Santa Clara University rushed to the competition venue. During the NCAA March game, all teams go to the center hall to play. This is also one of the charms of the NCAA. This year, Santa Clara University was placed in Arizona, home of the Phoenix Suns. When Santa Clara University set off, all Santa Clara University students saw off at the gate. Even students from all over the university signed their names on a Santa Clara University Bronco flag. As the team's bus galloped away, Santa Clara University students watched the car go away with anticipatory eyes. After the team bus arrived at the airport, it flew directly to Phoenix. The hotel they stayed in was luxurious. It can be seen that in order to let the players have a good environment, the NCAA organizing committee directly used the superpower, Krypton Gold. During the few days at the hotel, the Santa Clara University players did not relax at all. I still keep exercising every day. March 15th, getting closer. Everyone's mood also began to fluctuate. Finally, March 15th has finally arrived. Santa Clara University's first game in March Madness is about to start. Their opponent was the University of Maryland, home of the Suns, Beauty West Arena. The players of both sides began to enter at this time and warmed up in an orderly manner. And Suns fans, who are usually used to watching Suns games, have also entered. For them, it is also good to change the taste. Hey, that's Barkley, right? Suddenly, sharp-eyed fans spotted Barkley sitting in the front row. Barkley's appearance caused a commotion on the field, and the lens was given directly to Barkley. As the Suns star in charge, Barkley's popularity in Phoenix goes without saying. His appearance immediately triggered cheers from the fans. Barkley also stood up with a smile, and the fans also noticed that there was another person next to Barkley. The Suns' leading point guard, Kevin Johnson. Episode 37. Charles, it seems that your popularity is a little higher. Johnson looked at the cheering fans and teased Barkley. Barkley heard this and said with a smile, "But after the game starts, it is not me who is popular." Then, he pointed to Enmu on the field. "This kid will definitely attract the attention of all the fans. Any idea why I came to see him?" Johnson pointed to his head. "Do you think my brain is bad? You've said this no less than 10 times today. You said you came to see what a player who can blow up a shark looks like. Now, you see." Barkley smiled. Everyone is an insider, naturally higher than one. Therefore, Barkley is very eager to see how the existence that can blow up a player like O'Neal will kill all sides in the NCAA arena. And, coincidentally, the Santa Clara University game was held at the West Arena. Barkley stopped by to watch the game. He stood up and walked to the edge of the field. "Hey, and is it convenient to come over?" Barkley showed his friendliness. After Enmu saw Buckley, he came over with a smile. "Hello, Charles." Fliggy Barkley, the funny role of Turner Chintwan. At the same time, it is also a tricky character in countless NBA novels. It is estimated that the number of appearances of Barkley in NBA novels is similar to the number of appearances of Zhang Weiping Zhang Guidance. These two people are well-deserved top tricks in the field of NBA novels. And from the moment you blew O'Neal, I was your fan. Let me see how strong you are. Enmu smiled heartily. "Charles, I'm afraid that you will feel inferior after seeing my strength." Buckley glanced at Enmu in surprise. "This kid is still crazy? But I like." Cut. And, don't talk big ahead of time. Wait until you show your strength, before saying such a thing. I'm watching your performance from the sidelines. I hope you can show your strength on the day you beat Shaq. After speaking, the two looked at each other and laughed. 10 minutes later, the game officially began. The starting lineups of both sides appeared. The University of Maryland opposite doesn't have any great players. The only person who made Enmu familiar was called Josko Huavis. He also has a familiar title, King of Europe. In the 2004 Athens Olympics, he led the Litau Bull men's basketball team to defeat the United States. This is the thickest stroke on the resume of the King of Europe. The competition officially begins. Enmu and the University of Maryland center jumped the ball. Looking at Enmu, who claimed to have blown up O'Neal in front of him, Maryland center felt a lot of pressure. When the referee blew the whistle and threw the basketball high into the sky, the Maryland center's eyes widened, because Enmu flew directly into the sky. Enmu, who jumped high, slapped the basketball into Nash's hand. After Nash received the ball, he threw the basketball to the front court without any pause. I saw Enmu after landing on the ground, like a bolt of lightning, slashed towards the front field of Maryland. Maryland only has Jakahuswai's back defense. Looking at Enmu, who charged like a tank, Jakahuswai gritted his teeth and planned to go straight up. However, in just a blink of an eye, Enmu exerted a flexibility that did not match his height. A no-ball change streaked past Jaka West's. Phew. Enmu, who rushed to the restricted area, jumped quickly, catch the ball in the air, slash Kilimanjaro with one arm, and dunk the basketball into the basket. Wow. It was so shocking to see him playing on the spot. Yes, I've never seen such a center play like this. Like the strength of heavy cavalry, but with the speed of light cavalry? This is the Chamberlain Plus version, right? On the sidelines, Barkley pointed to the chattering spectators in the audience. "Look," I said, "by the beginning of the game, I'm not the brightest guy on the field." Gary Williams, the head coach of the University of Maryland, helplessly put his hands on his waist at this time, looking at Enmu on the field. How could such a monster suddenly pop out of the Celestial Empire? William seemed to be able to see the direction of the game from this goal. Meet a tough inner line like in Mu. Lead the University of Maryland with one way, a dead end. Offense and defense conversion. Jiachus Wiswes advanced to the front with the ball. There is no reason for the outside to force Nash. Nash's weak defense simply couldn't defend against Jaka Husvies. The future king of Europe broke into the box at breakneck speed. NCAA-level games are just not the same as West Coast League games. The speed of Jiachus is something Santa Clara University has never seen before. Too fast. Before the defense from defenders and small forwards arrived, Jiachus was already in the box. In the face of Mu, Jaka Husvies was also very careful. This guy once blew up Camby and hung O'Neal. I can't help but let him deal with it carefully. Jiachus showed off the delicate technique unique to European defenders. Facing Mu, he shot a small throw with a soft touch, but he saw Mu rising into the air like a rocket. Stretch out your big hand in the air and fiercely fan the throw of the King of Europe into the air. Such a throwing is obviously impossible to cross the mountain of Anmu. At this time, Barkley on the sidelines suddenly thought of a question. Kevin, how do you say Mu's frame compares to the African mountain Mutombo? Kevin Johnson, think about it. And then came a very interesting conclusion. The largest mountain in Africa is Kilimanjaro, but the highest peak in Asia is Mount Everest. One of them is a mountain in Africa and a mountain in Asia. So, I think Anmu's frame protection is better. Barkley teased, Kevin, you are so good in geography. It is a good road to go into politics in the future. The future Sacramento mayor thought hard and nodded. This can indeed be considered. And Mu Big Hat Yasko Juavis, team shooting guard Marlon Garnett gets basketball. As a combination of Karl Malone and Kevin Garnett, Marlon Garnett showed his speed and rushed to the front to complete a wonderful dunk. The University of Maryland went on the offensive. Yasko Juavis broke through Nash without any difficulty, and this time he opted for a mid-range jumper. But when he made a chorus shot, and Mu actually appeared in front of him again, snap. Another unreasonable hot pot, directly fanning Yasko Juavis. He moves so fast. After Coach David saw Mu's movement off the court, he asked assistant Mitchell with some uncertainty, has his traversing speed gotten faster again? Mitchell nodded, it seems to be faster. I lean on. What kind of monster is this? It's fast enough, but you can continue to tap the potential? Alas. It's so helpless. David played the three words, Versailles, very well at this time. Mitchell explains, he's been in the gym every day for the last month. This is the result of his hard work. David nodded, not only in the gym, but also on the court every day to hone his skills. Every day, in addition to the training hall, the gym, the dormitory, and the canteen. Didn't his teacher reflect his absence from class? After hearing David's words, Mitchell said with a strange face, according to him, he has completed all the credits of the freshman year in the last semester. It's okay if you don't go to class next semester. David was silent for a long time before he said, yes, I almost forgot that he is from the Celestial Empire, and learning is his strength. Episode 38. On the pitch, Santa Clara University pushed a counterattack. After Nash advanced to the three-point line with the ball, he played a block with Anmu. With the help of a block, Nash immediately broke into the box. Yasko Juavis originally wanted to bypass Anmu to pursue Nash, but he found that the celestial giant in front of him was too inexplicable. This body is also too wide. It's a body built to play basketball. Width enough for the body is too important on the inner line. Whether it's a rebound position, an outside block, or a low back, an inner line with a sufficient width is more labor-saving and efficient than ordinary internal lines. When he bypassed Anmu, he needed to spend a lot of effort. By the time he bypassed Anmu, the yellow cauliflower was cold. Nash gets inside and plays with his soft touch, making a light little throw to easily put the basketball into the basket. The sideline commentator said, it's all throwing again, and the situation between Nash and Yasko Juavis is really very different. Nash could easily put the basketball in the basket, but Yasko Juavis was turned away again and again. His partner said, actually, we shouldn't be too Yasko Juavis. After all, the center of Santa Clara University's frame guard is the one who once blew O'Neal out. O'Neal didn't get any bargains under him, let alone Yasko Juavis. The time of the game is slowly going on, and the mood of all the members of the University of Maryland is like a straight line. Downlink. And Mu covered the sky on the inside line, and did not give away for players who broke through to enter the inside line at all. What the University of Maryland can do is constantly project on the outside. However, in the case of Santa Clara University's inner line with such a frame protection mythical beast, Coach David naturally changed his defensive tactics. All of Santa Clara's outside players are focused on defending opposing shots. Surprise without throwing. You burst in, naturally, someone will deal with you. The Maryland head coach saw no hope of offense and decided to change his style. Strengthen your defense to fight a positional battle against Santa Clara University. Unfortunately, this defensive method lasted only 3 minutes before it was directly broken by Santa Clara University. David won't let Santa Clara University fight a positional battle with its opponents. Although Nash is mediocre physically, his speed is definitely the top presence among NCAA guards. His ball-carrying advancement is perverted. If Nash is equipped with an air cutter and positional warfare? No way, because Santa Clara University is fighting all air battles. The land can no longer accommodate Santa Clara University. In other words, the land can no longer tolerate Anmu. The sky has become the main battlefield, and Anmu is the master of the sky. Nash only needs to break through to the inside line, and then he can hang the basketball to Anmu. Anmu will definitely appear near the basket in the next moment and smash the basketball into the basket fiercely. What is the weapon that sanctioned the king of air combat? Surface-to-air missile. It is a pity that the University of Maryland does not have weapons of this level. They could only be slowly slaughtered by Santa Clara University. In the first half of the game alone, Santa Clara University exploded 51 points. Such scores are very rare in the NCAA, because the NCAA has only 20 minutes in the half, and each offense is 35 seconds. Under such rules, Santa Clara University was able to score 51 points in the half. It is enough to prove how perverted their conversion attack is. The University of Maryland, on the other hand, scored just 21 points in the half. In other words, Santa Clara University leads the University of Maryland by as many as 30 points at halftime. At the start of the second half, the University of Maryland players were clearly demoralized. 30 points were slaughtered at halftime. This is a rare occurrence in the NBA. Even NBA players trailing by 30 points at halftime can't boost morale the first time, not to mention this group of college players. In the second half, the University of Maryland's poor form continued. Fortunately, David gave the other side a little face. 8 minutes into the second half, he directly replaced Anmu and Nash. In the end, Santa Clara University defeated the University of Maryland by 30 points by a score of 88-58. With this, I started my crazy March journey. Steve, I have to say that our score and the score on the opposite side are still quite auspicious. 88, hair and hair. 58, cannon punch. After the game, Anmu happily joked with Nash. I understand when you say this 88. This is the custom of your Celestial Dynasty people, but what does 58 mean? Nash looked puzzled. Anmu smiled mysteriously. You will know in 10 years. Anmu played 24 minutes in this game, shooting 12 of 12 from the field and 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He had 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 blocks. After the game, many reporters pounced directly towards Anmu. And, how do you feel to beat O'Neal? The Celestial Empire giant smiled gently. I only answer questions related to this game. Now is not the time to answer this question. How much exposure can there be in the 64 round of 32 matches? If you could say the answer to this question when you win the NCAA championship, that response will definitely be very good. A reporter continued to ask, how did you keep playing so efficiently? You've never missed a ball in a whole game. Anmu replied, it has something to do with Steve's assist. That guy is a very good passer. Do you think your performance in March Madness will boost your draft pick even more? Anmu thought about it. I think the biggest overall pick will probably be Steve. After all, I don't seem to have much room for improvement, and Steve has a lot of room for improvement. Reporters were amused by the humorous words of the celestial giant. Nash's current draft pick is still within a round of 20 picks, and Anmu has locked in the top 5 picks. In this way, Nash's room for improvement is more. After the interview, Buckley came to Anmu. Hey, Ann, to be honest, I was so surprised by your performance. The first round is for you. You can win while lying down. I also want to see your next match, but unfortunately we are going to play soon. I definitely won't be able to catch up with the next 32 in 16 game, but when you play the finals, I'm definitely going. Man, don't get eliminated before the final. Later, Barkley made another request for an Anmu jersey. Man, from now on, I'm your diehard fan. In just 24 minutes, Anmu had a triple-double of 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 blocks. This is the first triple-double in NCAA history to hit 100% from the field. The Celestial Empire Center of the Hammer Shark has once again aroused heated discussions among fans. And after finishing this game, on March 17th, Santa Clara University continued its Sweet 16 qualifying match at the American West Arena. This game, Santa Clara University played more relaxed. Because of the leading scorer of the rival team, Syracuse University, John Wallace, was injured in the first round, so Santa Clara University picked up a big leak, easily advanced to the Sweet 16. Although it is easy to win 32 in 16, everyone knows it. The road ahead for Santa Clara University will be very bumpy, because, in the game of advancing to the elite quarterfinals, the Santa Clara University Broncos are about to face Jordan's alma mater, NCAA history powerhouse, North Carolina. After 2 consecutive wins, the Santa Clara Broncos became the biggest dark horse of the year. How long will this dark horse gallop? No one knows. Humming galloping little wild horses and thorny roses, Anmu followed the team to get on the plane leaving Phoenix. Next, Battle North Carolina, Episode 39. I didn't expect that the NCAA League would arrange us to play in such a place. The plane landed at the Denver airport. As soon as he got off the plane, head coach David could feel the difference between here and Phoenix. Elevation. Denver is located on the Denver Plateau and definitely belongs to the Highland area. When the average person comes here, it will be difficult to breathe. And playing in such a place will have a very large impact on the players. Mitchell complained. Is the NCAA organizing committee trying to eliminate us? Originally, the strength of North Carolina was strong, and now it has given us such interference from off-field factors? When David heard this, he waved his hand to interrupt Mitchell's words. Kenny, we're playing on the plateau and North Carolina is playing on the plateau, so there's no difference at all. Everyone is on the same starting line. Don't use these off-market factors as an excuse. We are here to abandon everything that stands in our way. We only have one idea, and that is to win the championship. After hearing David's words, the Santa Clara player's somewhat impetuous mood instantly fell silent. We still have a few days to acclimatize to the plateau. In the past few days, everyone should pay attention to their physical condition, and if they are unwell, they should immediately find a team doctor. Okay, let's get in the car. With a big wave of David's hand, all the players from Santa Clara University boarded the team bus. On the way to the hotel, the Santa Clara University players noticed something unusual. Hey, and look! Nash pointed out the window of the car and shouted at Enmu. Hearing this, Enmu bent down and looked out the window. It turned out that the Denver Civic Center had hung a picture of the battle between North Carolina and Santa Clara University on a billboard. The representatives of the North Carolina side are Vince Carr, Rhett, and Antoine Jameson. The representatives on Santa Clara side are naturally Enmu and Nash. It seems that the city of Denver is still very attentive to this game. At this time, on the street, people have even begun to walk around the street wearing the jerseys of both teams. The city's basketball enthusiasm can be seen. There is a big gap between North Carolina's squad this season and last season. Last season's North Carolina squad was Rasheed Wallace and Starkhouse. Starkhouse was the 1995 scout, the other was the fourth pick. Originally, many teams felt that after these two people left North Carolina would take advantage of the silence for a few semesters. But who would have thought that the day Starkhouse and Rasheed Wallace left North Carolina, the team's head coach, Dean Smith, has already found players. Best high school student in Florida, 1995, McDonald's slam dunk king Vince Carr, Rhett, and the top 5-star power forward players in the whole meter, Antoine Jameson. The arrival of these two people once again greatly increased the strength of North Carolina, and went on to break into the NCAA March Madness as the #1 seed, all the way through the thorns, to the sweet top 16. Carr is no different from the most star-studded player in the team. The strength he showed in the freshman year made many North Carolina fans think that this is the real Jordan successor. As for that previous Jordan successor, Jerry Starkhouse, that's just an imposter. In the recent period, the news of Enmu's explosion of O'Neal has been thoroughly dug up. Everything about Enmu and Nash was known to the fans. Kobe, who formed a team with O'Neal, was also known by all fans. Even, in a heads-up, he exploded the Starkhouse opposite him, which is known to many people. When the fans knew about it, the nickname of Starkhouse Jordan's successor was stripped away. O'Neal lost to a college center. Did you lose Starkhouse to a high school student? Although O'Neal and Starkhouse are inferior, but in contrast, Starkhouse is clearly the one that is more rubbish. This year, he came to March Madness with the title of Jordan's successor. The two teams rested for a few days in Denver. In the past few days, Santa Clara University players have been adapting to the Highland environment. But for Enmu, this did not have much impact. Although, the taller people are, the higher the oxygen content they need. Big players at high altitudes will also have a greater difficulty in ingesting oxygen than small players. But for Enmu, who has the talent of God's chosen body, there is still no big problem with an altitude of more than 2,000 meters. The date of 16-8 is getting closer. The pace of Santa Clara University has also suddenly picked up. Outside reports about the two teams have also increased dramatically. This game is recognized as the most exciting of all the 16-8 matches. However, the managers of both teams, in order to ensure that their respective players have a good playing environment, all journalists were refused interviews before the start of the competition. Finally, March 22nd is here. Home of the Denver Nuggets, Pepsi Center. North Carolina's popular rising star was mobbed by reporters as soon as he entered the arena. For several days, they didn't get news from either player. Today I finally have a chance. Reporters gathered around Carr, quet like sharks smelling fishy. Vince, what do you think of Santa Clara University's center Enmu? Vince, do you think you can continue Jordan's North Carolina glory? Do you think you can win this game today? Will your internal line be blown up by Enmu like the inside line of other teams? Vince, will a knockout system affect your performance? The reporters' questions were flooding towards Card. Win or go home, win or go home. This is where the NCAA March Madness is different from the NBA playoffs. Compare the NBA's 3 of 5 or 4-win-7. An NCAA knockout system is even more insane. Every year in March Madness, the President of the United States even joins in speculation about the final winning team. Santa Clara University had not suffered a single defeat before this. Before this game, there were veteran basketball commentators who carefully analyzed it. The teams Santa Clara University had met before weren't strong enough to beat them. It's because the teams they meet are not good. In the West Coast League, there are too few good teams. 2 games in March Madness. The University of Maryland team is weak. Syracuse University scorer injured. These have long been the results of Santa Clara University today. Some people say that Santa Clara University is a dark horse, others say that Santa Clara University is the lucky one. Therefore, this vs North Carolina game will be a mirror for Santa Clara University. The strength of North Carolina's squad is unquestionable. A star combination on the front. The other three positions are also players who can be ranked on the NBA's draft rankings. If Santa Clara University can beat North Carolina, then they have truly confirmed their dark horse. In the face of so many questions from journalists, with a hint of pride in his expression, Carr has said squarely to everyone, "It is said that Santa Clara University has not lost a single game this season. That's because the opponents they met before were too weak. Today, here, we'll give them a taste of the first and final defeat of the season." Episode 40. While Carter was being interviewed, two people also entered the Pepsi Center. "Scott, there are so many people watching the game today. I remember when we came to Denver to play away, there weren't so many fans." Michael Jordan looked at the many fans at the scene and said. Pippen, who was beside him, said, "Actually, when we came to play away, there were still a lot of people at PepsiCo. But when they play against other teams, there are really few people to watch." There was a smile on Jordan's lips. "So, when we played away, so many people came to see our Bulls." Pippen smiled silently and watched quietly as Jordan pretended. When Jordan finished loading, he looked at the fans in the stands. "Today it seems that there are more people wearing North Carolina jerseys." Jordan glanced at this conclusion. At least 2/3 of the fans wore North Carolina jerseys. Although it is a central stadium, everyone still has their own support team in their hearts. Since you graduated from NCAA has been strong, not to mention that there is a Vince Carter this year, so there will be a lot of people wearing North Carolina jerseys. Pippen said this force, and the words turned. "Michael, do you think Carter can be the second you?" Jordan looked at the sky haughtily. "In this world, there is only one Michael Jordan. Get." Pippen looked at Jordan and knew that this guy was pretending again, but he does have the strength. As the season progresses, the Bulls are now on the best record of the same period, and they are very hopeful, hitting the NBA's all-time winning record. "Michael, let's take a look at your junior brother's performance today." As the two spoke, they sat directly in the audience in the first row. Jordan shook his finger when he heard Pippen's words. No. Scott, I'm not here to see his junior today. His level is really good, but he can't get into my eyes yet. Actually, I'm looking at Santa Clara University's celestial giant today. I'm interested in him." After hearing Jordan's words, Pippen shrugged. If Carter knew what Jordan was thinking now, he would have been devastated. The arrival of the two also triggered the cheers of all the audience. This season, the Bulls have convinced fans of almost half of the NBA's teams. Now, in addition to the Bulls' sworn enemies, almost all fans have a Jordan fan status in addition to being fans of their home team. Dean Smith also came over with a smile when he saw the arrival of his most proud disciple. "Michael, come to see your juniors?" Jordan did not dare to pretend in front of his mentor. He said respectfully, "Actually, I came to see the big man today." "Smith, Nima, I'll just say it. Since you graduated from North Carolina for so many years, you haven't come to a game in North Carolina. Good fellow, you're finally here this year. I thought you were here for North Carolina. And you said you were for that big man?" Smith was going to turn around and leave, but Jordan quickly grabbed his mentor. "Haha, Dean, although I came to see the big guy, I was still optimistic that North Carolina would win the game." "Humph," Smith snorted coldly. "Michael, you're here to see the big guy, right? Today, I'll show you how this big man fell into the defense of North Carolina." And Mu didn't know at all at this time. Jordan, the god of basketball, unknowingly pulled a hatred for him. Jordan had just sent Smith away, but Carter came to Jordan again. "Hello, senior." Carter's attitude towards Jordan now is as respectful as Jordan's attitude towards Smith. It can be said that 99% of the players who have come to play in North Carolina this year are loyal fans of Jordan. Carter is no exception. Jordan let out a muffled snort from his nose. Carter scratched his head. "Why is the senior unhappy? I'm the most promising successor to you." But what he didn't know was that Jordan had always been very disdainful of the title of Jordan's successor. "Lao Tzu needs you to take over? Lao Tzu can still average 30 points per game. You will find me a successor? Doesn't this look down on me?" "I'll behave well, senior," Carter said awkwardly and planned to turn away. However, Jordan's words made Carter freeze in place. "I think the big guy would have performed better. Actually, I came to see him today." Carter. In his heart, it was as if hundreds of thunderbolts had slashed through. As the soul of North Carolina, Michael Jordan came to the scene, not to watch the North Carolina game. Instead, he came to see Santa Clara University's Amaki. Carter turned to look at head coach Dean Smith. He understood why the manager's face darkened a little just now. Pippen also covered his face. "Eileen, big brother, can't you talk about the scene? Give people a little hope, give people a little step down." Now the situation is very embarrassing, but on second thought, this fucking mother is his mother's Jordan. Think back to your rookie season. "Medea, this guy has scolded himself and cried. This nasty paranoia," Pippen complained inwardly. With a heavy heart, Carter returned to the North Carolina bench. Jordan said, "He came to see you?" Carter's gaze fell on Mu's body in the distance. "Then I have to prove that I am much stronger than you." And Mu didn't know that Jordan had pulled two hatreds for him so far. Santa Clara bench, and Mu and Nash high-fived. Steve, this game can't be lost. The Silicon Valley Twins must beat the North Carolina Tar Heel. Nash nodded fiercely and said, they can't win. We are the champions. Santa Clara Mustang. Come on. All the Santa Clara University players gathered around and cheered. The race is about to start. Both sides announced the starting lineup. North Carolina, center, Seg Zwick, 221 centimeters. Power forward, Antoine Jameson, 206 centimeters. Small forward, Vince Carter, 201 centimeters. Shooting guard, Dante Crabia, 196 centimeters. Point guard, Jeff McNeese, 193 centimeters. Santa Clara University lineup, center, and Mu, 213 centimeters. Power forward, Brandon Jarvis, 208 centimeters. Small forward, Kevin Dunn, 201 centimeters. Shooting guard, Marlon Garnett, 198 centimeters. Point guard, Steve Nash, 190 centimeters. Maybe Mu will be met with his own opponent today. Mike Brin, a commentator from ESPN, offered his opinion just before the game began. His partner, Albert, said, yes. Today Mu will not have a height advantage on the inside line. Zwick, who is opposite him, is a center forward with a height of 221 centimeters. This is a situation that Mu has never encountered in previous competitions. In the previous matches, Mu relied on his speed and explosive bouncing power to score. But now, Zwick is a fully high enough human shield. He is fully capable of withstanding Mu's impact on the basket. I'll beat you. Before the two sides stood up, Carter said solemnly as he passed Mu. Mu countered, before today, many people said this. Now they're all lying at home watching my game. You, too, will be one of them. Mu did not hide his confidence in the slightest. Centers on both sides jumped the ball on the midfield line. At 221 centimeters tall, Zwick is very confident. He has a whopping 90% win percentage in jump balls. Zwick didn't believe Mu would be capable of beating him on a jump ball. When the referee blows the whistle and throws the basketball high, the two jumped at the same time. Zwick, who has a height advantage, would have been in the lead. Mu came later. His terrifying bullet speed and explosive power and super long arm span allowed him to strike late and take advantage. Snap. Mu slapped the basketball into Nash's hand in the air. Nash catches the ball and the quarterback makes a long pass to the front court. The North Carolina players are still a little confused. Zwick's jump ball had never gone wrong before this game, so they were a little relaxed at first, but who would have thought that Zwick would fail? After Mu landed, he fought blitzkrieg again. Rush into the three-point line and leap high. Received a long accurate ball from a quarterback in the air and scored a touchdown, 2-0.